Video games as a medium have reached an interesting place. It's become a mass market pastime, something that millions of people across the world enjoy. But many video game companies have interesting origins. Nintendo, for instance, used to run brothels and make playing cards. Absolutely true. Sega might surprise you to learn we're actually an American company who used to import pinball machines to American military bases in Asia in the 1940s and 50s. Um, Ken Levine, maker of the Bioshock games, ran a donkey sanctuary. Tim Schafer from Double Fine used to make a living whittling birds from different trees. What he'd do is he'd find a tree, and if a bird lived in it, he'd cut the whole tree down and whittle a bird just this size from it. The rest of the shavings he would sell to companies making cork floor. Even if it wasn't cork, he'd sell it to him, and I mean, they did something with it. He never really asked any questions. He got paid, and eventually he applied that into making video games. It's so fascinating where so many of these things come from. These characters as well. You know, Sonic the Hedgehog was originally conceived as a character called Mr. Needlemouse, and the game was primarily concerned with creeping into bonfires in the autumn and then dying in fire. Mario as well was a character based around a man who used to come to the offices at Nintendo with a hammer and smash turtles. He scared the shit out of people. But you know, ultimately, Shigeru Miyamoto was sitting there and he was like, "I've got this idea for a game," and he was eating some mushrooms, and he's like, "Who's? What about that crazy guy who keeps smashing turtles with a hammer? We could do something with that. We could make that." And then Mario was born, and that became, you know, one of the greatest phenomena in video gaming history. Pokemon, for Christ's sakes. Look at them all, every single one of them with an inspiration in a real world creature. Like, you know, Pikachu's based on a small rabbit related animal called the Pika. And Tauros, of course, is based on an ostrich. Gyarados is based on a bloke called Gary Dos, who used to come to the Nintendo offices and turn into a giant prawn and scream. You know, it's incredible when you think about it. You know that there are these amazing creatures, and they're only one step removed from the real world that we live in. You know, you only have to imagine, ever just squint your eyes ever so slightly, and there's Pokemon everywhere.